Carol here, and I'm going to do a quick video on what kind of dairy products to purchase. I get a lot of questions about dairy products, and so I'm just going to kind of review some of the questions that I get, and hopefully this will help when you go out shopping and buying dairy products. I'm not a huge dairy product consumer. Some of my family members would be a little bit upset with me because they're dairy farmers, but I just prefer not to consume dairy products. I do eat them, occasionally, but not very often. So what I like to do is I like to have coconut milk. That's my favorite milk. I rarely drink milk. I mostly put it in my protein drinks. So I use these brands. I use the Thai, and this is my favorite. It's 99 cents a can, and it's the Trader Joe brand. So that's when I'm doing protein shakes, that's what I do. I take about 1/3 cup of this to 2/3 cup water and put it in my protein shakes. But if you are a milk drinker, then you'll purchase milk. Now, all across the board, I want to talk about purchasing dairy products. Always get the highest fat dairy products. Don't look for the low fat or no fat products. And here's why. Because when the manufacturers make the low fat and the non-fat, what they do is they strip out items in the product that then makes it low fat or non-fat. What that's doing is removing the healthy fats. Now, I'm a believer in having a healthy fat at every meal. So whether it be an avocado, a side of cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, thrown in on the side, I'm a real believer in having a healthy fat at every meal. So when I go to the store and purchase dairy products, then I always go for the full fat. And there's most of the time you can't get like a full fat. Like I'll show you with my cottage cheeses, and I have an example here. There's not like full fat cottage cheese. It's like 4% or something. But I always get the most percent of milk fat because I'm just a really big ingredient shopper. So when I shop, I really pay attention to the ingredients. I'm not so much about this in the front as I am about this in the back. So when you are looking at the ingredients, you'll want to pay attention to some of the additives that go in there. And if you'll notice, when you look at the ingredients with a non-fat versus the 4%, you're going to notice extra ingredients in there. And the reason they do that is because they've stripped away all the healthy fats. And so when they have to do the process in order to make the product to put it on the shelf, then they have to put in these ingredients. And most of the time, those ingredients are not healthy for us. I have some buttermilk here, and this is what I use for my Little Choices Matter ranch dressing. And in the list, this is, when I go down to Safeway, I can only buy one. They only have one to offer, so I do buy this one. And it has an ingredient in it, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this right, carrageenan. Okay, something like that. Anyways, I could tell you some harmful things about that ingredient. It's one of those things where you just have to choose whether or not you want to consume the product. And so it's a personal choice. Obviously, I want the buttermilk because I want to make my ranch dressing, and I've done my research on that ingredient. I don't think it's that horrible. So I've made the choice that, yeah, that's something that I can live with. And then you also want to look at, when you're buying like the Greek yogurt, you'll want to make sure that, there's no hidden sugars, sucralose, maltodextrin, and all of that in there. You're thinking you're doing healthy yogurts, you really, really want to pay attention to the ingredient list and make sure there's no hidden sugars. And then when it comes to like yogurt, you'll see things in there. And as long as you're buying, like especially a Greek yogurt with no added fruit, everything in it should be good. Depending on the brand, most of them I've seen, as long as you buy the plain, that's good. And the first ingredient, of course, is the milk, which is good. And then the cottage cheese here, the first ingredient is as well milk and cream, which is again a healthy fat. So